Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Ha ha. Well, what a wonderful day. What a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Not for a lot of deep state creepios, but for us regular folks, it's a great day. I hope you got a chance to watch Bobby Kennedy get sworn in and listen to the wonderful things he had to say. And in my thumbnail, I got a puppet arrested. I was going to edit it to say big puppet arrested, but I didn't want to come up too late for the broadcast. But I think it was a big puppet arrested. And yeah, I'm gonna wait till some folks get in the chats. No goggling now. I had people in the chat spoiling it for everybody else. Ha ha ha. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the ramifications of reciprocal tariffs. And, we're at 2.7 trillion already discovered before anything disclosed about the IRS, the Department of Education, the Pentagon. What in the world? We're talking trillions of dollars. So I said that people are going to be flabbergasted, and the awakening is intensifying, and people are reveling in it. They're enjoying. It's like getting up in the morning, Christmas, a beautiful new day, instead of going, what are you doing waking me up? I'm trying to sleep. No, everybody's starting to wake up like, wow, was this a dream? No, it's reality. It's no dream. So anyway, we got Benjamin's in the house. How you doing? Wayne's here. Give me a thumbs up. Ha ha ha. Todd's here. Hi. Mac is here. Hey. Sherry. Ha ha. Gary. Ha ha. Darla. Nice to see you. Gloria's here. Robin's here. Everybody. Cola. Flannel cheese. Jackie. Melinda. Ha ha ha. Oh boy, what we all knew is coming. That's right. William, nice to see you. What we all knew is coming. And I see these little videos being put up by people sitting in their cars, posting on TikTok. You can tell they're new to the project, but they're going, I am so glad that I got away from the demon rat party. All kinds of videos like that. People that have been looking at their checks, and it's human nature. Their eyeball goes right down to the bottom line. How much am I getting? They don't look at anything else, and they flip it over, they sign it, and go get their money. And man, I had a friend, I told you all, it was the same guy who bought a bunch of companies and lost millions and then gained it back after a 10-year, 8-year battle. He used to say, I should be able to pay my employees their full cash money. And when they walk out the door, there's a tin can, and whatever the government says they got to pay, they count it out and put it in that tin can. That's what he used to say. And you wouldn't see this much stuff going on like you're seeing now. And boy, was he right. Boy, was he right. God rest his soul. But I learned a lot from him. I learned about not giving up. I learned about how to take your lumps. I learned how to roll with the punches. I learned I saw how somebody could deal with stress at a big level, millions of dollars. And I'm seeing it again with Donald J. Trump on a much, much bigger scale. Hi, Miss Brenda Sue. How are you? Tracy, nice to see you. Benjamin's here. Debbie's here. Yeah, Miss Brenda Sue. And yeah, Miss Brenda Sue, I saw your message, but I am from parts unknown. Maybe when I go to end my career, never know. You all might not need me anymore, and I'll be able to end my career and do a face reveal. I'll sing. Let me see. Me and Sadie could do a duet. We fight on, we fight on. When your government is doing you wrong, we fight on. Remember that? I can slouch down to my chair and have my eyeballs half open, acting all droll and beautiful and tired of everything. We fight on. That's what I might do with Sadie on my lap. Ha 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 ha. Because that's what we're doing. We're fighting on. We're fighting on because our government has done us wrong. Okay. I wasn't in the same boat as this woman we saw singing that song. Government looked like they were doing pretty good to her. She had her nails done. She probably doesn't have to go to work except log in, push a button. What's Tuesday? Is today Tuesday? Let me see. Oh, that's where I get my feet rubbed. That's my foot rub day. And I have direct deposit. I ain't got no time for no bank. It just goes right in there. And I want to be head of my department. I want to be the one in charge of everyone else who doesn't show up for work. And that would give me a big pay raise if I'm in charge of everyone else that doesn't show up to work. So, yeah, people live in that world, don't you know? So I know that I never did. I know I did my share of scrubbing, cleaning, chopping, banging, beating, hammering nails, digging ditches. I've been through it. But yeah, I know you all have too. Those who don't work don't eat. That's the way it used to be. I told the story 3 years ago. Mom's working in the garden. My brother's in the garden. I went down to the creek. Thought nobody noticed. Dinner time came around. Mashed potatoes got passed around. They didn't get passed my way. I said, I want some mashed potatoes. Dad said, well, you didn't want to help dig them up. I guess it means you don't want to eat them. So I didn't get any mashed potatoes that night. And you know what? Next time around, I was out there digging in the garden because I had a hole in my belly, it felt like. Went to bed, a little growling noise. I didn't like that. Ha ha. Ha ha. Melinda said she saw me once. Well, you're my witness, said Melinda. I was looking like a mountain man, wasn't I? I might take a weed eater one day and get this hair off my face. But it looks like I ran over a couple of possums in the bathroom if once I shave it. All that stuff hits the floor. But anyway, yeah, you never know, Gary. We might all get together, surrounded by the beautiful mountains, and reminiscing about this epic battle that, I remember talking to a young man who was running a restaurant, liberal kid. And I was trying to tell him, imagine time in a white line, like a line of light going across the universe, this endless light beam. And there's a little spot in that beam representing this country, the history of this country, a small little dot in that beam of light going through time. That's us. We have a very short time of liberty, of a concept that no nation has been able to live. Government of the people, for the people, and by the people. We are the government. Okay? And it just didn't get through his head. And if we don't handle it right, we're just gonna lose it. We're gonna lose it. We're just a little blink of an eye. And why are we here during this blink of an eye? Well, we've been told we're chosen for a reason. Okay, so we'll try to live up to that reason, right? Hi, Andrew. How you doing? So anyway. No goggling. Now, have you all heard who got arrested? Who got arrested today? Whoops, man, I'm missing a lot of chats. They freeze up sometimes. KNS Cleanup, how you doing? Nice to see you. Let's see. Hi, Sherry. They'll have no power when that money spigot gets cut off. Angel, nice to see you. Yeah. Oh, Jamestown, yeah. That they tried the social experiment in Jamestown. It was called the Starving Times. Yeah, we got to get states cleaned up. Hi, Lone Wolf, how you doing? Nice to see you. So let's see. I don't see any guesses. I played a tape of him. See how old I am? I called it a tape. But anyway, did you? I hope you got a chance to see Bobby Kennedy giving a nice tribute to Donald Trump to really get the lunatic Dems to flip out, and to any of my good friends out there who are old school Democrats. I don't know how many of them are left out there. You got to do what Trump did. Get some common sense people that are classical liberals that believe in what you believe, also have fear of the Lord. Because with that, all true wisdom begins with fear of the Lord. And take your party back. Rebuild your party. That's what you're going to have to do. Because I think for many, I'll say decades, you guys are going to be in the back seat, going to be a minority party. Your leaders have chosen poorly. And so along with that, I hope you got a chance to watch some of the jibber jabber about getting Kash Patel out of committee, the committee vote on Kash Patel, because he's the next big shoe to drop. Excuse me while I was sipping my coffee. By the way, I have a link for buying me a coffee in the description. Anybody wants to help the channel out? Let me mute this so you don't hear me slurping. Boy, that's good. Anyway, let me see what's going on in the chat. Oh, okay. Second in charge at during the COVID stepped down, right? When RFK was, there's a lot of them running like hell. Oh, I tell you, there's a good, I think it was, lives a TikTok, I think it was. So who put this up? Wait a minute. They put up a thing about what was from Washington, D.C. They can take these things and see who's searching what in every territory. And the Google searches in D.C. spiked up. Where is that? Boy, I got some good pictures for future thumbnails too. Spiked up in D.C. Holy cow, did I take this many screenshots? My God. Here it is. Washington, D.C. searches for SOAR, for Swiss bank, offshore bank, wire money, and IBAN, I-B-A-N. I'm not familiar with IBAN. Does anyone know what in the chats what IBAN stands for? But there's a graph. I might save it for a picture show. But there's a graph that shows this huge spike. People physically in D.C. search and goggle for offshore banks, Swiss banks. It's funny. And whatever in the hell IBAN is. I hope y'all remember to give me a thumbs up on the way in. Helps the video to get around. Andrew Jackson 2.0. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Rob, yeah. Yeah, I didn't get to see Rob Blagojevich, but he's another one that they keep talking about. People like Kash Patel and General Flynn knows where the bodies are buried. The Chicago machine, the Illinois machine, is going to get broken up. First time in a century. So what do they used to call that? The modern version of it was called the Daily Machine, right? The Daily Machine. Yeah, international bank accounts. Run, Forrest, run. Well, yeah, they can run. And you know what? Laura Loomer, I didn't click on any of them, but she has these. I clicked on a couple of them, but they're all the same thing. She says, watch as Adam Schiff, or watch as Maxine Waters, watch as Dick Durbin. Won't answer our questions. When did you know any of those politicians to keep their damn mouths shut? And they won't say a word, okay? And it's almost like a perp walk. If you put handcuffs on them, the way they're walking with their head down, looking, trying to get away from the reporter, it almost looks like a perp walk. It's funny as hell. Nice see you. How you doing? Yvonne, how you doing? So anyway, this came up about an hour before I went live. Zelensky ordered the arrest of somebody named, now let me see if you all, I didn't see anybody guess it. David said, who was arrested? I told everybody to guess. David, now you all got to guess. No goggling either. If you goggle, you're a cheater. So anyway, I played a tape. I guess that's what you call them nowadays, but anyway, of Joe Biden talking to somebody. And he said, he was vice president. Gary said, Hillary, boy, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? When Biden was vice president, he was on the phone to somebody in Ukrizzle. And he told that person in Ukrizzle, you've got to go ahead and arrange that loan with Privat Bank. This is paraphrasing because I can play the tape again. I've got it. Before he gets too sophisticated to know what's going on. This was weeks or maybe a month before Trump took office the first time. And he also said, now I'm not making this stuff up. I mean, I got the tape of Biden on the phone telling him, for your own safety. Namely, he was threatening him. You get that money paid off and off the books with a loan through Privat Bank, or you're going to get it. That's who it was. That's who it was. That's who got arrested. The person he was on the phone with. The person that Biden said, if you don't have the prosecutor fired by a look at his watch, whatever time, you're not getting $1 billion. And son of a bitch, the prosecutor got fired. But they replaced him with somebody who would work with us. Remember that? That's all on video too. That's all on video too. And turned out the big guy got 10%. $90 million, because they were withholding $900 million. They call it $1 billion, rounded up, right? And Rudy Giuliani talked to the prosecutor that got fired. They tried to poison he got the actual bank records of the money being laundered through Luxembourg and other countries and ending up right into a bank account with the Biden family, the big guy. The guy's name is Viktor Poroshenko. Got arrested today by Zelensky. The other thing that was announced today is that Ukraine is printing up new ballots to hold an election, a quick election. Because one thing Trump has said, Ukraine needs to hold an election because they skipped the last one because Zelensky declared martial law, a year and a half ago, and has been an unelected dictator? I don't know. So I showed last year a video of Poroshenko trying to get into Poland and get out of the country. Poroshenko was on video after Zelensky became president with a flak jacket on, holding a rifle, security forces around him. We're going to fight Russia. We want help from the European Union and from America to defend Ukraine. So he's been a big part of the money laundering, a big part of the BIO LABs. Sea Doorman, how you doing? Tim Pool makes $100,000 a video. Wow. How much of are the Russians paying? How much of the Russians paying you? I got to buy me a coffee, Lincoln. Last night I didn't get, I didn't even get a coffee. I'm just saying things that are real, things that happened. Not my fault it happened. I didn't make it happen. I'll just call you C instead of C Doorman, just to make it easy. C, as in letter C. Hi, this is Justin. How you doing, Tank? Darla remembers. Oh, now, Tank, don't be so sure about that. Tank says they're not going to arrest Biden. It is happening fast. Hard to get. Hi, Tennessee. How you doing? Yeah, the U.S. Russians. The U.S. Russians. I could put in there, buy me a vodka. Or no, they say vodka, right? Vodka. Buy me a vodka. So anyway, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. Poroshenko was a deep state plant, and he laid the groundwork for the invasion. And then Zelensky got in there, and always keep in mind that Zelensky stood by Trump about that Adam Schiff lying about the phone call, which he got caught at. He got caught lying. And, the reason I'm hoping you all watch the committee that was going to vote on Kash Patel, which, by the way, he got out of committee today. They approved him to go up for a full Senate vote. Are they going to vote him in, or are they going to ask questions when the Senate goes to confirm him? Will the full Senate ask questions? Do you all know that or not? Because I'm wondering if the question is going to be asked. Since Dick Durbin, who, by the way, looked like hell, he looked like somebody slapped the snot at him and rolled him down a 50-foot hill. And then he's sitting at the bottom. And whatever you look like after that happens to you, that's what he looked like. And he was what was he jabbering about? He was talking the usual crapola about Russians and what the heck? I wrote a couple of dopey things down. What was this guy? Oh, one of them brought up, made my eyeballs pop open, saying Kash Patel was rejected as assistant director of the CIA or for a high position in the CIA by somebody by the name of Gina Haspel. We haven't heard her name in forever, right? Most of you all who have kept your ear to the ground remember, hi, Pappy, how you doing? Raven's Wings, how you doing? Remember, Gina Haspel supposedly caught a slug in her foot. If you know what I'm saying, I got to be careful how I say it. During that raid in Germany, where the Germs live, where the servers were, right? Remember that, folks? And she's gone and in obscurity, and I believe under house arrest, is my opinion. So anyway, Dick Durbin even brought up Gina Haspel. I couldn't believe it. But I tell you, who had a real good defense of Kash Patel and of Trump, and a synopsis of what's been going on with false accusations, in attempts to imprison the media, was Chuck Grassley. He's the chairman of the committee, right? He gave a really, really good breakdown. And then you had, let me see, you had creepos. Creepos like Dick Durbin and Amy Klobuchar. When I get to them, I'll call them. Susan Crabtree. Did you all hear about this? A Secret Service agent. Secret Service agent. Secret Service scoop. A woman special agent trainee on Wednesday. SHOT herself in the leg at Secret Service Rowley Training Center and was airlifted to Baltimore Hospital emergency room, according to multiple sources in the Secret Service community. Says developing. I'll provide more details about the circumstances of how and why this occurred when they become available. This incident occurred amid deep concerns that the DEI policies contributed to the failures on J 13th and created an opening for Thomas Crooks to try to assassinate Trump and unalive rally goer Corey Competore. Did you hear about a Secret Service agent catching one in the leg? They did it to themselves. Under the Biden administration's sweeping DEI executive order, Cheadle, remember her, Kimberly Cheadle, she signed on to the 3030 National DEI Initiative, calls for the enforcement agencies, law enforcement agencies, to have at least 30% of their forces be women by the year 2030. A lot of people limping around or worse, right? Not to denigrate any of my wonderful female followers, but most of you all don't want to run around ducking bullets or pulling guns, or it's just not something a lot of women are interested in doing. A lot of people think it's just a tool you wear on your belt and makes you look cool. And don't realize what it's like when you start hearing things go pow, pow, bang, bang, pop, pop. I've got some videos I'll never be able to show on YouTube that show you how permanent and quick things can be in hairy situations. A lot of it from the Ukraine war. But anyway, one of the reasons, because women make fewer arrests. This 30-30 initiative and the way Cheadle was implementing it, hiring decisions and training qualifications, was a major focus of an online petition and whistleblower concerns. She left under pressure. She boosted women's agents and uniform officers to 24%, just 6% shy of the 20-30 pledge. I mean, the 30-30 pledge. Well, I tell you what. What did I say about the Secret Service? There is definitely a place for smart women in the Secret Service. And I said to keep in mind what's coming. They put out an advertisement for people to join the Secret Service. And I've said it is because they're in charge of international money laundering. They're going to need a lot of people that are savvy with computers, a lot of people who could do like Rudy Giuliani did and track that $90 million from Ukraine to Joe Biden's account. They're going to need to do that for thousands of people. Okay? The Secret Service. Just like I discussed, the surge in searches for offshore accounts, Swiss bank accounts, all that stuff is going on in DC right now. So yeah, there's a place, definitely a place for women. But who the heck wants to see people get, shoot themselves in the leg? Or, and it was definitely was less than preferable what happened on J13. It made the Secret Service look bad and put a lot of people in bad position where they could have lost their lives. All right, Ravens Wings, you do carry on. That's good to hear. So, Prime Minister Modi came by. Did you know that they had humongous tariffs on Harley motorcycles? India. And they've always had them because India is one of the world's largest producers of motorcycles. If you ever see videos of third world countries and their street scenes, they're all riding around on motorcycles, mopeds, dirt bikes, whatever, all around the world, especially in more temperate or hotter, warmer climates. People just jump on a motorcycle or a scooter. So they're one of the largest manufacturers. So they put a huge tariff on Harley Davidson, been on there for 20 some years. I don't know what, 300% or something outrageous. They lifted the tariff. The day before, Modi comes down to see Trump as a goodwill offering before their meeting. So that's big news for American manufacturing. Opens up a whole new market. 1.5 billion people. I think there might be tens of thousands of them out of that. I mean, 1.5 billion is a big damn number that would have the wherewithal and the desire to buy Harley motorcycles. So watch for ads in the paper for Harley to be expanding their employment. But anyway, Indian Prime Minister Modi came down and said the people of America are aware of President Trump's motto, "Make America Great Again." or MAGA. The people of India want to make India great again, or MIGA. MEGA. MAGA plus MEGA equals Mega Partnership for Prosperity. That's what Modi had to say. And China feels like they have lock on trade with us, okay, and because they have such low labor and cheap products. Well, India is going to be quite the competitor for China now. Okay, so yeah, that's good news. And this here is anybody from Washington, state of Washington, Klickitat County. I've never heard of that county. Klickitat County. Sheriff Bob Songer said that he won't be following sanctuary policies. I guess Klickitat County has this kooky sanctuary stuff. He said, I won't be following them. And I want to send a message to ICE. If you need any help at all, put me on speed dial. This business of feeling sorry for migrants and ignoring your own people, those days are over. I kind of had, oh, you're from Washington, Miss Minnesota, Klickitat County. Yeah, Sheriff Saunders. Look him up. Tom Homan, yeah, he'll be there soon. Oh, good. But anyway, it was a horrible thing. We had one of our people in chats who had a loved one commit, aside. So it was kind of hard. And at the same time, I want to remind you all, not only have them in our prayers, but those two little souls that were in a van and froze to death, right? Remember we talked about that in Chicago? And there's stories like that, unfortunately, by the thousands around this country. So what a hopeful day with Bobby Kennedy wanting to make America healthy again. And all the news we're getting about the migrant crisis being handled, and about all the money that we are going to see returned to the coffers of our nation, because it's going to help make Americans healthy, safe, and your chances of being happy when you're healthy and safe shoot way up, way up. The chances that you can afford a warm bed for your two children are going to go way up. The chances that people are going to be looking at alternatives of how they can enjoy their lives and achieve goals instead of falling into despair, alcoholism, drug use, and give up. The chances that people will seek alternatives to something like that are going to shoot way up. Kennedy said, well, people who are healthy have many dreams, many wishes. People who are sick have only one. Only one. And that's to get better. So keeping that in mind, what a big day. What a big day. We're seeing everything being exposed about waste. We're seeing that money getting clawed back. We're seeing the architects and the enablers of this abuse of the citizenry stumble, fumble, sweat, and shake. Okay? We're seeing other countries realize that they have to treat us right. And it will bring them opportunity. We're seeing a major sea change in our daily lives that is going to last for decades and decades. Really, Roland? You looking for a roommate? Well, I'm sure they say two can live as cheaply as one. You just gotta don't jump the gun. Check them out. Check them out. I'm sure somebody will take you up on that. The other thing that Trump brought up, they tossed out there. He likes to toss big notions and dreams out there. With China, Russia, and the U.S., he said, well, we're going to all get together at some point. I can't tell you exactly when, but he said, I'd like to see a mutual agreement for all of us to reduce our military spending by 50%. We've heard that kind of talk before, but it's always been just that talk. But we know Donald Trump walks the walk just as much as he talks the talk. 2.7 trillion found in waste to date before the IRS, before the National Institute of Health, before the Education Department, and before the Pentagon, among a great many other things. We're talking trillions of dollars per year that this country is going to save. A 50% reduction in defense spending would be a monumental boon. And I've always toyed with the idea that, there's a guy that's got a good channel that discusses disability payments, Social Security, when it's the best time to get it, when you're 60, 62, 65, they have different levels, so it's a very informative broadcast. And he said, what Elon had tweeted out, that the waste, fraud, abuse in the Social Security Administration alone exceeded all crime in the private sector, all scams in the private sector. I'm talking about Madoff, Bernie Madoff, scam, Stankman fraud, somebody embezzling at work, somebody stealing from their employer, shoplifting, everything around the country combined didn't touch what they're finding at the Department of Social Security. So Trump said he's going to have tomorrow a press conference, and he's going to read off, he said, about 200 things that you won't believe. 200. Because they keep asking, do you have any proof? Is this all just accusations? He said, well, I'm going to read off to you about 200 of them tomorrow. That's going to blow your mind. So I'm waiting for that too. And I hope a lot of people tune into it. I'm just looking at the chats. A horse and a sparrow. Wayne said a horse and a sparrow. They're the only ones. Well, in our old way of life, two could live as cheap as one. In our old way of life. And maybe it'll come back to that. No power, Roland. What in the world? Hope you have a gas stove or a wood stove, because you're in Canada, right? You're in Canada. But I tell you, the like chats were saying earlier, what we've been saying many times during broadcasts, that things are happening so fast. It's. I use the term that Trump was moving with alacrity. Remember that, folks? I said, and I spelled it out. You know, it's funny. This goofball judge that was told 2 times, surely you don't mean this. Surely you don't want to let this order stand. And he said, who surely? He used that word, I am moving with alacrity to straighten this out because I want to make sure. No, well, he came up with some posts he made talking bad about white people. In other words, he's racist. And also, I think his wife was involved in some screwball business tied into all this government waste. And also the guy that, what's her name? Amy Whatever-Face Jackson. She's trying to keep in his job, was tied up with Hunter Biden's law firm. And you're looking at all this crazy stuff, and it's like rank and open abuses of power, embezzlement, theft, corruption at a very high level, all being laid out there for people. And it's stunning. But when you start thinking about what could be the benefit of it, I've said before that Trump is not the type of person to leave a family living in a parking garage to freeze to death. He's not the type of person to have a nation at odds, or people to say, they're going to take my disability. They're going to take this benefit, that benefit. That's why I'm thinking we're looking at a possibility like they do in Alaska. As far as I know, that's the only state that shares its wealth of natural resources with its citizens. And I think Trump is going to do that on a nationwide scale. And we're going to have a minimum, what are the liberals have been pushing for forever? A minimum income. I forget the name of it. I said it earlier. Minimum basic income. I think that's what they call it. It might be a slightly different term, but I think that's what we're looking at. It's too much money going to be coming back, and too much business that's going to be generated, like with Harley, for example, for this country not to be able to afford making sure people have their basic needs met. And not picking on you, Roland, at all. But that made me come to think of what Trump brought up again today about Canada becoming the 51st state. Because we send $200 billion a year that way, right? It's like the Gulf of America argument. Reuters, not Reuters, they got problems of their own. They got $9 million and from out of the ether of taxpayer money, and Trump put out a truth about that. Pay it back now. Oh, and also Pulitzer, Trump is suing because they gave awards to people who lied about Russia. Trump suing them. A judge ruled that his suit can proceed. But anyway, AP News was barred from the White House, a press conference, because they would not recognize the term Gulf of America. Well, of course, Caitlin from CNN and the usual boobs, when Trump is announcing things that they should be analyzing for all the good it can do for not just Americans, but for people around the world, they go, are you trying to settle scores and have retribution against AP News? What a stupid ass question. But Trump said, no, I'm not. He said they don't want to call it Gulf of America, then we don't need them around. They're not reporting the truth. And when you look at a map, above the Gulf of America, what do you have? North America. Below the Gulf of America, what do you have? South America. So there ain't a damn thing wrong with calling it the Gulf of America. It's just like that beautiful logic that I was actually Sister Agnes taught us that in school. Woman and men. All men are created equal. Woman and men. That was over half a century ago. And so I never really had a problem with all men are created equal in the Constitution because I had a nun teacher that would crack your knuckles if you tried to sneak in a calculator with a ruler. But anyway, other than that, she was really nice. And she's the one that did that little demonstration about how all men are created equal, women and men. And it always stuck in my head. I didn't see what people were talking about. I was like, well, they must not have had a Sister Agnes. But I had a Sister Agnes. So anyway, the same type of logic you can take with the Gulf of Mexico. No. Why is it Gulf of Mexico? North America, South America, Gulf of America. Plus you have way more shoreline on the United States, which is North America, right? So anyway. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Roland. Yeah, that's right, Gary. The oil revenues. Look at we have so much more than oil. I don't know if that's going to be the case. Hi, Justin Bean. I don't know if that's going to be the case for the rest of the country, but I can't see how it's not going to be. And everybody says Trump is a greedy businessman. Elon Musk is a greedy businessman. And they're out there chanting today. You can't spell felon without Elon. How about when they check their bank accounts, they get a big fat check when all the smoke clears? And it's going to repeat and repeat and repeat. And if they're still recalcitrant about unifying, Canadians unifying with America, Trump pulls the plug on 200 million and then Americans get a check. I think the majority of Canadians say, hey, you want to hear me sing Star Spangled Banner? So, yeah. I mean, this is one shot at changing civilization. We got one chance, and this is it. We have to break the backs of the cabal. We take their money. We give it to the people. You give it to them one time, they're going to expect it. It's their money. You know, a lot of people view the government and then the people, us and them. It's us and then the government. That's a flaw in people's thinking. That's what they try to cultivate in people's minds. But our government is designed to be of the people. The people are the government. So there is no us and them, people versus government. It's the people versus the silent thieves. It's the people versus the lawbreakers. It's the people versus principalities and spiritual forces that want to rule the earth. So there is no us and them. They're usurpers, usurper. They're takers, demanders, expectors. But like Johnson was talking about with his Great Society and welfare, once they start getting he said, we don't got to give them much, just a little bit. They'll keep expecting it. Then they'll demand it. And they'll be voting for us for the next 200 years. Well, Trump is going to turn the tables on that. And instead of giving a certain group just a little bit to lock in their vote, everybody is going to benefit. And I'm not saying we're going to have nations sitting on their ass and never having to worry about anything. But we're going to have people feeling much more secure in their daily life, much more motivated and inventive, driven to have a better life. Everybody wants to have a better life. Think about your first car. You thought it was great. After a while, you start to look around and say, man, I'd like to have something a little better. And you start working toward that goal. Hi, Angela. You haven't missed much. About an hour. You can go back and listen to it, though. Ha ha ha. Alberta should be, well, everybody's going to be, it's not sharing. It's, giving people their due. Giving people their due. But my point is, from that point forward, you could say, based on the population we have now, whatever they come up with, 365, 70 million, this is how much people get. I don't know if it'll be monthly, annually, bi-monthly, quarterly, I don't know. But the more citizens we have, of course, it would reduce the amount we have to give out if we don't up our gross domestic product. Boy, would that dampen this appetite for letting every slob or crook or somebody who just coming for the gravy. Boy, would that slow that type of thinking down when it gets into individuals' own back pockets. I was so moved when RFK, who I have had problems with, and I didn't even care to hear him talk because of things he talked about in the past about socialist ideals. He's matured. He's come around. He said, I got, for 20 years, I got up every morning and got on my knees and prayed to God that he would help me make a difference in childhood illnesses that I can see. He said in the past, I know where it's coming from. I know it's these corporations putting crap in the food. If I only had the power to put a stop to it. And he prayed for that for 20 years. And he said God gave him Trump. God sent him Donald Trump. I never, in my wildest dreams, thought I would hear that coming out of a liberal person's mouth. But it was heartfelt. He said that Trump kept his word. He said, people told me, don't trust him. Get everything in writing. You can't believe him. And he said, we did business on a handshake, and he's done everything he said he would do. And he looked at Trump and told him, I believe you're a pivotal historical person. You're pivotal. A pivotal leader. He said, you got spine, guts, and strength. And he called it out for what it is. He called it a sinister group. This U.S. AIDS. He said, my uncle started that, I think he said 1961. Bobby would have been 14, maybe. I don't know. I don't know exactly. He's as old as Bernie Sanders. You stand them side by side, you'd never know that. Mitch McConnell, who Trump lumped up today, you know, he's not overbright. He never has been. He just had strings to pull. He didn't, that's not his exact words, but it's what he was saying. Mitch McConnell was not a good leader. And when you think about it, he was the last majority leader of the Senate over the Republicans, and he was left alone voting against Tulsi Gabbard, the only Republican. Nobody had showed any respect for him and his opinion. So he called it they were sinister propagators of totalitarianism, is what Bobby Kennedy referred to the people who were influencing U.S. AIDS and every other government institution. Every one of them is infected. I believe he used the word infected. Oh, well, Angela, I hope you feel better. If you've got a migraine, stress will bring that on. And, you know, You look at the past battles we've fought, how many years we've been waiting for this time. This every day, every time you look at the news, every time you go on True Social, every time you go on X or wherever you get your information from, there's something else popping out. And the defenders of this sinister cabal are crumbling. Maxine Waters, I got her on my thumbnail. EDS, Elon Derangement Syndrome. She actually said the words, "What do they have on us? What do they have on us? He's going into the IRS and he's going to find out everybody's private business." Yeah, it's my private business. I'm picking your pocket. Hi, Angel. Yeah, Alberta, come on, jump on board. You know, we want to look at who owes what around here. And if we got the Secret Service in checking into money laundering, I'll tell you something else that's a big scam. I'm sure we'll get to it at some point. How many of these officials have allowed people to be in this country unlawfully that shipped their money back to Latin American countries? Billions and billions and billions of dollars of cold, hard cash getting sucked right out of our financial system by people who are here unlawfully, working unlawfully, or stealing unlawfully, or dealing drugs unlawfully, or trafficking human beings unlawfully, bringing in billions of dollars and sending it back to their country. I knew one guy who won $250,000. A young guy, probably 35 years younger than me or more than that, walked around with $250,000, not even an American citizen, because he had some scumbag attorney sue the U.S. government under the Obama administration, claiming he was wrongfully deported. He won a settlement of $250,000, then got a residency permit, living like a damn king, not even a citizen, and goes multiple times a year back to his country to visit his grandmother and his mother and brings them money. It's going to sound unbelievable. I read a story where somebody got notice to move out of a trailer park. And my antennas went up. Turned out the guy that owned the trailer park that he rented in got deported by ICE. Turns out this guy was here unlawfully, but bought a trailer park and rented spaces out. An American citizen rented the space. The guy gets deported, didn't make the payments on the trailer park, everybody gets evicted. What is somebody like that doing buying property in this country if they're not here legally? My ears went up because that's what this kid did with his money. He bought a trailer park. But it wasn't the same guy. I thought it was, because I dealt with him about 10 years ago. And I read the article, it wasn't even the same state. But apparently, that's a modus operandi. And if you think about it, If they don't have a social security number, they buy a property and deeds recorded, and they're making payments, financed privately or something like that, and collecting rent. They don't ever have to file a return. Nobody cares. It's all gravy. Like Trump said, they're coming for the gravy. These Latin American countries know it's happening, allow it to happen. These officials, like in Arizona, right? In other states, I won't go down the list. Probably the same states. They say there's 22 attorney generals that have Diamond Silk had it, a secret pact to foil Donald Trump's objectives. A secret pact. Well, I hope we find out what that pact is. And I'm still going to maintain that at a certain point, stuff is going to be revealed to the level that we cannot not have mass arrests of public figures. But how about we get some payback for all the stuff we're talking about? There's going to be grounds for class action lawsuits about people who have been victims of air quotes, migrant crime. There's going to be people that are going to lose their sovereign immunity because of malfeasance or misfeasance, or deprivation of rights under the code of law. They're going to lose their sovereign immunity, and they're going to be vulnerable to class action lawsuits. I was saying, what are we going to do about the states? Because New York, they held back that 80 million. 80 million that was supposed to go to house migrants, and they're running a deficit probably close to $1 billion. I know California's in debt for billions, and they have these monstrous bureaucracies. And I was like, well, we take care of the stuff in the federal government. You're still dealing with a bunch of Marxists and commies that have been installed since the 1990s. After Reagan left office, they started pulling the crap of taking everybody out of these leftist colleges with degrees and sprinkling them all over the United States in positions of bureaucratic power. And then they started handing out federal money for them to build new town offices, county offices, grant money, so they could bolster their local bureaucracy and infect it with liberal planning, environmental BS. Like I said, the house floating by in North Carolina, whoa, it's got water saving devices inside, but it's floating away. Well, how do we break the back of that? By busting all these liberal creeps that have allowed all the migrant crime, allowed all the money to get funneled out of the country, have their own agencies that are just as corrupt as the federal agencies we're going through, have them investigated and busted. And we go for these people that have been in office on the TAKE for decades, federal, state, and local, and audit them. How does Nancy Pelosi get to be worth $202 million? $202 million. So with this impoundment that Trump is going to be exercising, he's going to have a lot of discretion about what to do with the money he impounds that he can give back to the Treasury. This guy Jerome Powell is going up. He's the Fed chairman. I was listening to him in one of these congressional hearings, and they were trying to corner him about, I think, Kash Patel. What are you going to do about Kash Patel trying to get retribution and his enemies list and all this kind of stuff? And he was like, I really don't know about, Well, I'm thinking to myself, is he a patriot in a trusted position to get inside information, or is he part of the problem? Because how the hell can you allow money to go out of the Treasury that is naked fraud? So we're going to find out about that. We'll just keep an eye on Jerome Powell, this Fed chairman, Federal Reserve, which is going to be going south. Hi, Karen O. How you doing? Oh, yeah, we got to straighten the voting thing out. That's a high priority. There's no way that's not going to happen. No way that's not going to happen. I tell you this, Senator Whitehouse, I think his first name is Sheldon Whitehouse. I don't know. I just call him Senator Whitehouse. The things he was saying about Kash Patel and Trump reminds me of what that old senator said many years ago. What my colleague is saying is execrable, which means excrement. Okay? And you all sophisticated know what that means. He was bringing up Russia again. He was saying Kash Patel needed to have a criminal referral for perjury, which ain't going to happen because Chuck Grassley's in charge of that committee. They are running out of stuff and making themselves look like asses. I just don't know how many of the American people are sophisticated enough to see it. It's like when Trump was signing the reciprocal trade executive order, and he said, we're going to charge them what they charge us. No more, no less. And he's signing it, and she starts going, what are you going to do? Because you promised the people cheaper prices. What are you going to do if prices don't? And he said, wait a minute, I'm signing it. In other words, wait your turn, shut up. They keep bringing that up. And that dopey David Pakman had a video talking about the damn price of eggs again. I couldn't believe it. He talks to his audience like they're 10-year-olds. The reason I keep talking about the price of eggs is because Donald Trump said when he got in office, the prices would drop, and they have not. So that's why I can say what I'm saying. Doesn't say a word about them ordering the destruction and culling of millions of birds. No problem with the price of eggs in Mexico. What's the price of eggs in Canada? Our friends in Canada. How's the price of eggs in Canada? He doesn't bring that up at all. Neither does Caitlin Collins. She brings up eggs. So, So what do we see erupting now? people stealing truckloads of eggs. You know, like the low tier guys with the mafia would hijack a truckload of cigarettes, cartons of cigarettes, go out and sell them on the street corner. Well, they're starting to do that with tractor trailer loads of eggs. Who's doing that? Do you think they're going around on the roadside selling eggs like a roadside stand selling tomatoes? Of course not. You think 2 or 3 guys that hijack a truck are going to eat all those flipping eggs? Of course not. They say the price of a dozen eggs is around $7, is what Packman said. I don't know where in the hell he's buying them. I get them for $3.99 on sale a dozen. And most days are $4.12 or $4.20. But even if they are $7 a dozen, that's nothing. To risk highway robbery, to risk a truck hijacking, a federal crime, strong arm robbery, 20 years in jail for flipping eggs? No, it's an operation. It's an operation just like the California fires they were setting back when Trump was in office to get federal funding, to harm Trump, to harm the economy, to strengthen their claims of global warming. They had hundreds of people going around setting fire. I saw a video where some guys caught a guy setting a brush fire in California, and they tackled him in the street. Don't think he's not going to get interrogated, along with these people who are part of this egg operation. They set fire in Arizona. Is that where they caught that guy, Karen? Angel said Safeway, they were on special, 18 for $6. So that's about what I was talking about, around $4 a dozen, right? That is not a item that would compel criminals to risk 20 years in jail. That's why I'm saying it's an operation. It's a bunch of what does Andy No called? Trantifa. To get everybody to say, oh, I wish I hadn't voted for Trump. He lied. Eggs never went down. Eggs are a staple, but people don't, like I saw somebody in chat said, I haven't had eggs in years. Yeah, Roland, you got to put butter in them because they don't have any flavor. I live in the country. I can get country eggs. If I didn't go get store-bought eggs, I could get local eggs, but I got to drive a little bit of ways. I can get them for $3 a dozen all day long. Farm fresh eggs. They have flavor. Angel said it costs $1.50 to buy what, a dozen eggs? Yeah, Debbie. What rhymes with Letitia? Letitia, jail. Debbie said eggs are cheap where I live in Florida, and for those that aren't lucky, try your local egg farmer. Yeah. most of the areas that I'm aware of, they're still a little bit high compared to where they used to be, but it's not $7 a dozen. And like I said, even if it was $7 a dozen, nobody's going to go out there and hijack a damn tractor trailer. But apparently there's dozens of these thefts occurring. How you doing, Yen? Oh, Canadian dollar is $1.50. American dollar return is $1. Yeah, Australian money's the same way. But, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, they're all under the crown. And it's roughly the same. Nice to see you, Yen. Nice to see you. So anyway, I tell you what, I tell you, another big one that's happening, nobody's talking about. Department of Education. Linda McMahon. I saw some of her hearing today, but it's not even being talked about. But what did we talk about last night? 2022, $35 billion. 2023, $250 billion. 2024, no, $275 billion. 2024, $250 billion. There's a $500 billion there roughly that's been injected 23 and 24 out of the blue. That's going to be another big boom for the average American to find out about this Department of Education theft, international criminality. You watch what happens with that. What was that crazy woman, the head of the Department of Education, what the hell was she doing in Ukraine? We're going to find out stuff that's going to blow people's minds. And Putin and China, Xi and China and Trump, they've gotten together. And Zelensky, he puts up his little show. I wish Trump would have met with me first. I don't think we're being treated fair. I don't see why we got to give up land. Blah, blah, blah. He can say all he wants. But they're ordering a new election, and they arrested the previous president that was colluding with Joe Biden. Peace plan is on the table. I think I'm going to call them the big three, China, Russia, U.S., has already laid out an agreement for how that war is going to end. It's already in the bag. It just needs to be signed. There might be a few little things to iron out. I won't argue with there, Roland. I can't argue with you there. Yvonne, you pay $1.79 for 6 eggs in the UK. That translates to $3.60 for a dozen, right? Roughly $3.58. That's not outrageous. It's not great, but it's not outrageous. Let me see what else we got in the. Julie Kelly wrote I can't read. I have to hold that for later. Now here's I guess a Democrat creepo, because Elon put out a tweet that Doge agents are entering the IRS building as we speak, or something to that effect. Everybody's, yay! So this guy, Ron Wyden, I don't even know who the hell he is, but he put up a tweet that he's got a little symbol of the Capitol on his X account. So I guess he's a congressman. He says, new, my office is hearing that Doge is now at the IRS. That means Musk's henchmen are in a position to dig through a trove of data about what every taxpayer in America has. And if your refund is delayed, they could very well be the reason. They could very well be the reason. So here is a Democrat tipping their hand, saying they're probably sabotaging things to delay people's refunds checks, to get people mad at Trump, just like they're setting people up to go out here and steal tractor trailer loads of eggs, just like they ordered farmers who didn't think a damn thing was wrong with their damn chickens to kill them all or go to jail, all to screw up the economy. So that's their next move. One of their next moves is to sabotage the system. And that's the term for it. Subversion and sabotage. So people's IRS checks will get delayed and they'll blame it on Trump and blame it on Elon. Watch what I say. Shit, Ron Wyden, a Democrat creepo. It's 22 state attorney generals, according to Diamond Silk, said they have a secret pact to mess up anybody in the chat from Minnesota. Anybody in the chat from Minnesota? Because Minnesota senator, they're starting to drop like flies. They told us to keep an eye on resignations, right? Minnesota Democrat Senator Tina Smith announces she will not seek re-election. Wonder why that is, Tina. Are you okay? I hope not. You know, I want to tell you, see what you all think of this. This is from Clandestine. This is what he thinks in a nutshell about C and then 19, right? Whether C and then 19 was released accidentally or intentionally, at this point, doesn't matter. They made BIO and then weapons. Millions lost their lives. They covered it up. They censored, brainwashed the planet, obstructed viable treatments, and forced experimental jabs that were neither safe nor effective, all for their own financial gain. Of course, we need to get to the bottom of it. And the truth is important. But regardless of whether it was intentional or accidental, they committed crimes against humanity for which the punishment is, you all know what the word is, starts with a D, ends with F. It's not a matter of if our government and ruling class are evil. It's a matter of to what degree. And he's right. Whether it was an accident or on purpose, the actions that they took afterwards, any reasonable person would know was with the intent to harm people. Oh, really? A fentanyl lab bust. I'll be darned. I'm just looking. Hi, Hebrew. How you doing? Nice to see you. If I missed anybody, I apologize. So anyway, I am in agreement with him. They've already wreaked havoc, and now they're going to have to pay the piper. Dan Scavino put out an interesting picture that I may use for a future thumbnail. It shows TV cameras trained on the Oval Office desk. And Dan Scavino said, soon. And I guess he was referring to the signing the Reciprocal Trade Act, but I think it's a message about something big coming soon. And I don't want to get everybody all hyped up, but there's no way with the type of information coming out, with the birds that are going to be singing, there's no way that there's not going to be something big coming down, because we still have Durham, we still have Horowitz, we still have Huber, and those are the ones we know about that have ongoing investigations. I've shown it 100 times. If I've shown it once, the Fox News image about Horowitz, Clinton Foundation, crimes against humanity, crimes against children. That was the ongoing investigation. And we have never heard a report. We have never heard the bottom line on that. And I think that's coming. Senate Judiciary Committee favorably reported Kash Patel to be FBI director. The full Senate will vote soon. So I don't know when the vote's going to be, but I want to watch it. So anyway, folks. Yeah, the trolls can't swim among their lies. Yeah, Benjamin, that's the way the system is designed. I said, especially property taxes, it's designed to eventually become confiscatory. Like that old man that was holding a sign up saying it takes more than half of my Social Security to pay my property taxes. Nancy Pelosi, annual salary $223,000, net worth $202 million. Mitch McConnell, salary $200,000, net worth $95 million. Chuck Schumer, salary $210,000, net worth $75 million. Elizabeth Warren, $285,000. Her net worth is $67 million. What was it that came out about Liz Warren? She's sticking up for this Consumer Protection Bureau or some kind of crap like that. I heard that she was funneling money through a tribe that she claimed she was an Indian, and that they have their own little banking system. Because, they're their own nation, these reservations. That's why they have casinos. That's why you can go in there and buy cigarettes cheap. That's why you can do all kinds of things, fire, water, whatever you want. But I heard she was funneling money through tribal banks to hide her money laundering. That's why Trump said, I love the Indians. I love the Indian people. I love working with them. How much you want to bet they got the inside scoop on what Elizabeth Warren's been doing with her money? Next week for Kash, 20 senators leaving for a trip Well, we might get a bunch of rubber-faced senators. You know what I mean by when I say rubber face. Mask on, mask off. So the masker. Maybe that's what's going to happen there, because I saw earlier somebody said something about get and then mow. All right, folks. So anyway, I appreciate it if you all give me a thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. I want to thank my new subscribers. I got a couple of new subscribers after I lost some subscribers. I guess I said things or whatever. I don't know. I got to say what I think. So try not to hurt too many feelings. But anyway, I appreciate you all, as always, for spending your precious time with me. And tomorrow I should be going live again. If everything, God willing, I'll be going live. And we will see what more new and exciting things happen. And we'll keep all the things we've been discussing in the back of our minds, because I tell you what, if you're happy, you'll be healthier. Health brings happiness. Happiness helps with your health. It all works together. Don't stress out about nothing. Fear not. Nothing new under the sun. And God wins, right, folks? So I should be going live tomorrow night. Just looking at the chats before I go. I don't know much about tribal banks, but that's what I heard. You're welcome, Debbie. Thank you, Angel. Miss Vinder Sue, everybody. Thank you all. Well, anyway, again, you all have a great night, and I'll be seeing you soon. This is the Mountain Man, over and out.